Good God, it's happening again. Hey guys, have you ever heard of a little game called Zombie Match? Maybe you have, because it's back. Sort of. PvZ Match, as the title alone says, is a matching game, along the likes of Candy Crush or Bejeweled or literally any other puzzle game on the mobile game market. That sounds like bad news, because it is. It's terrible news. Plants vs. Zombies might be going down the Rovio route, where it's nothing but copies of what's popular and profitable. Before I get into the gameplay, I want to make this statement. This game is doomed from the start. What I'm saying is this game, if it ever releases, will fail. This game is just a clone. It doesn't have much new to offer, if anything at all. It's just Candy Crush, but wearing modern PvZ skin. Some abilities are literally stolen from said game too. There is no unique reason to play this game, so why should we, considering the mobile gaming market is oversaturated with the same genre? It just seems like this was made with the entire intention of get rich quick and then bail. Now with that being said, I should talk about the gameplay since this is a review, so let's hop to it. Heads up, before I actually start talking about this game. I want to talk about its history and development because it's kind of weird. If you don't know, this game isn't by PopCap. They have nothing to do with this. This was developed by Chocolate Panda and published by Chilingo, which both are owned by EA. This game first appeared as a Zombie Match on June 1st, 2021 in select countries. A community manager on the Answers HQ PvZ page left a post saying EA is currently running limited market tests for some mobile games. These are playtests and not an indication of any future games we are making or a promise of development. And that was the final message we got from them regarding this. Despite that statement, however, this game looks like it will inevitably release, considering it's been in development for over 2 years. The version of PvZ Match we got is actually from October 2022, so we're getting the PvZ 3 treatment of handing us old builds. Now, for context, I completed this game in its entirety, all 70 levels. So if that makes my opinions and critiques more valuable or not is entirely up to you. Now from the start, you will immediately see something off. It's using the new PvZ logo and not the established old one. That was a red flag for me the second I booted this up for the first time. Anyways, after selling my soul away to EA by accepting the user agreement, you immediately get thrown into tutorial level. The basics of this game is like any other. You have a limited amount of moves you can use to match. You have an objective. Some objectives can range from matching a certain amount of the same colored items to destroying X thing. Matching the same colored items in a specific pattern can result in making a power-up. In this game, they're called super plants. Super plants have a variety of uses like homing what? Huh? Never mind. He's called Thistle Launcher in this game. Thistle Launcher is created by matching 4 of the same colored items in a row and will randomly have a set path they can destroy, being a vertical or horizontal lane/row. Next we have Pomegranate. By matching 5 in an L or T shape, this will be made. It explodes in a 5x5 radius around itself. Next we have Rotobaga. By matching 4 in a square like a Minecraft crafting table, a Rotobaga is made. It will destroy the tiles to its sides, above, and below. It will then fly off and randomly hit whatever is your objective. Finally, we have the pinwheel. By matching 5 in a row, this is made. Swapping it with a tile will destroy all kinds of that tile on the board. They aren't even being subtle with the stolen ideas. The complete opposite of super plants are your obstacles you will encounter in levels. These range from boxes to cones to TVs to slime to tacos. For a little marketing test kind of game, there is a decent variety available. For completing levels, you will receive coins, moolah. These do absolutely nothing. You can also get them for completing an area from pinatas, but that's like 3 times in the game. Now, what if I told you even the monetization method was taken from Candy Crush? Look up. No, I mean like look up at the top of the gameplay. You will see a health system. It's exactly like Candy Crush or Angry Birds 2 or literally any other mobile game. There are also power-ups at the bottom of the screen, but they aren't functional in this build of the game. How exciting. Next we have a second currency, Sun. If you thought PvZ 3 alone copied Homescapes, then you're wrong, because this game does that too. You spend Sun to complete the story, which is just a PowerPoint slideshow animation using PvZ 3 concept art and terrible dialogue. Speaking of dialogue, oh my god, it sucks so much. Every character is boring or annoying, and they ruined Crazy Dave again! Dave has been dumbed down to only having 2 character traits, making gibberish noises or talking about tacos. You might be asking, but Jay, Dave has been talking in gibberish since PvZ 1. What do you mean? And to that I say, no. He literally says gibberish this time. It's not gibberish with real dialogue from him, it's actual gibberish. The only time he doesn't say this stuff is when he's talking about tacos, which he does constantly. The other characters include Sunflower, also called Sunny in this game, for some reason, then Immortica and Dr. Zomboss. Immortica is probably the most unique character because she speaks like Dr. Seuss, while Zomboss is the most normal character this entire game. Even for Dave. Now, it's not a modern PvZ game without having a story for some reason. The extremely complicated, heart-touching, tear-bringing lore for this game is, listen to me clearly, Neighborville is being invaded. How original. It's the same exact plot, down to the bone, for PvZ 3. The story is portrayed through the dialogue I mentioned earlier, and the PowerPoint presentation styled animations. Every character moves as a still PNG portrait, and when something happens, they get rotated slightly by a few degrees. It's horrendously ugly, but it's kind of funny at the same time. All of the portraits have been taken from old PvZ 3 concept art and are incredibly out of place. In the Firework Factory area, there is a Zombot drone from Garden Warfare 1 that literally has exhausts coming out from the bottom, despite having a propeller. The music and sound choices for this game are very off, to say the least. There is a never-ending battle song from Plants vs. Zombies Adventures that loops everywhere. And when you beat or lose a level, you will hear the Garden Warfare 1 Plant Victory or Zombie Defeat sound. It's honestly uncanny hearing content from games that had much more thought and soul put into them get reused here. I also don't like how this game presents itself. It's just a match game. They don't hit you with any cool ideas that spice up the format immediately like PvZ 2 did. It's just a standard match game. While that isn't necessarily a bad thing for some players, making an entire game be gimmick-based can be awkward to get into. It just makes the experience more dull than it already is, considering there is no attempt to add anything new. I've been seeing people force themselves to like this game in hopes of EA seeing potential in the franchise. If EA does notice, this will just make the current situation worse. Do you really want EA to notice that a generic copy of another game is accepted better than PvZ 3 or anything else PopCap has made recently? This could just send PvZ into going down the same route Angry Birds went. They completely stopped making original games for a bit and went to do whatever was popular and profitable, just wearing the skin of their franchise. If you want the slimmest possibility of saving Plants vs. Zombies, voice your opinions on Answers HQ and be harsh. The survey supplied to the community never allow us to be critical, but we can there. It's hard for me to review this considering this version is obviously very early on in development still, but that doesn't make it free from criticism. I genuinely have no positives I can say about this besides me going, oh that's kinda neat, to a slightly interesting gimmick. Also, I ended up experiencing a massive UI bug in my playthrough, as my background for the match UI wasn't there for me and many others. This resulted in nulled tiles that did nothing despite having items in it. In my screenshot in comparison to another's, you can see theirs have complete UI while mine doesn't. If I were to rate it out of 10, I would probably give it a 2 out of 10. The only point it gets is that it can be fun, considering it's still a matching game at heart. Even if it sucks, it's still a puzzle game that you can potentially enjoy. Though at that point, you might as well just play Bejeweled.